Have you ever considered the actual significance of your initial letter of name? This is a query full of mystery and altering possibility, not a basic curiosity. The initial letter is a special vibrational code, a secret key that exposes its spiritual goal and effect on its path as selected. Each name really has a heavenly purpose. Here I am, Gabriel, the awakening of the chosen, the leader of this channel, and I am here to light the road that led you to this message. You have arrived here by the power of your soul, which you want to awaken to a greater awareness of your mission, not by coincidence. Today, we shall have a revelation meant for souls that listen to the spiritual call within themselves and desire to comprehend the secrets of their nature, not for others. From the knowledge of the initial letter of your name, this movie you are going to see holds a strong secret, a magic key to spiritual awakening, something that may realign the energies of your existence. Ignoring this message might be a grave error for its development because it contradicts the depth of spiritual truths that have been provided to touch your heart. Share with the comments the feeling of this spiritual restlessness, this inner desire that brought you to join us today. Leave your mark here, as when you appreciate this video, you realize it has arrived to you, not by accident, but rather by a divine intention the universe is presenting before you. Prepare yourself for the disclosures that will nourish your spirit, in addition to piques your interest. Under the cover of the names, we will find together the task assigned to him, closely exploring the universal forces guiding his path. Then inhale deeply and get ready to accept the wisdom that surpasses the obvious, because in the following chapter, we will reach a realm where the cosmos speaks only to the listening ears, those who are genuinely ready to hear. Your name's initial letter is more than just a sign. It's the expression of a spiritual truth that people live without ever seeing. For millennia, the majority has been blind to this reality, just for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. We are discussing condensed truth that rules its core and purpose, not speculative or theoretical vibrational code. Only the real selected know that the universe created their names to signify a special spiritual purpose, not by coincidence. Imagine your initial letter of name as a star in the big universe, your lighthouse leading you on your path. This phenomena shows itself in the hidden army of our life, closely related to our personality and goal. It is like a special song playing within, reverberating in the shape of abilities, difficulties, and approaches to break free. Consider the letter A as the lion's roar, shining bravery and leadership. Alternatively, the letter B, quiet like a wind, lends harmony and sensitivity. Looking back, you see that this letter shaped your choices, sliced your character, and materialized situations that appeared destiny, thus guiding your whole life. Invisible powers have led or challenged you. How many times? This first vibration helps one to understand times when a decision appeared too clear or difficulties persisted on reappearance. Now question: where else on your path does this initial letter leave traces? Your spiritual emancipation depends on knowing this truth. It is like lighting a lamp in a dark tunnel. Alternatively, we will be caught in endless cycles of struggle and inertia, blind to our own inherent talents and potential. This is the moment to reject illusions, in a clear call to look beyond appearances and at last exercise deliberate control of your spiritual journey. Only by embracing this truth can we be free from the shadows. This insight is the basis for its spiritual metamorphosis. Ready to know how your first letter defines your daily activities and guides your purpose? Feel the urgency and indispensability of this information. Do not miss the step to the next section, where we will delve further into the unseen shades of this change, therefore creating a gateway to a knowledge that may at last provide freedom to its hidden essence. As we explore this insight, we come to see that the initial letter of your name serves as a lighthouse, leading you across the sea of life and events. To really appreciate its influence, nevertheless, one must investigate how this lighthouse highlights certain facets of our spiritual development. Imagine yourself strolling in a convoluted maze, where hints only those with inner knowledge will be able to comprehend will provide the path out. The selected one goes through a sequence of subdued yet strong awakenings as this reality shows itself. Maybe throughout your life, you have sensed an unseen power drawing you to certain choices to fulfill inner needs. How many times have you gone wondering why certain events appear to be repeating on your path? Have you ever paused to consider moments when you sensed an unexplainable link between your name and your destination? Imagine your path as a symphony where the initial note sets the theme. Every difficulty and every success are the chords of this particular creation called life. His first is stone, the foundation of his spiritual enrichment, just as the master builder sets the cornerstone before raising his holy house. Think of the story of the sower that plants in rich soil. It all begins with the correct seed and at the correct season. Only then does the harvest become certain. And there are ramifications for nodding off in front of this vibratory so-called reality. Ignoring the sound your spirit produces can let you remain caught in never-ending cycles of discontent, living without thriving, like the olive described in the holy books, which, under faulty planting, never produces. But once you at last hear and grasp the harmony of your first letter, something really changes. Consciousness opens forth, and existence unfolds in magnificent and erratic directions. Let yourself stop right now to consider. Are you ready to identify and feed this firmly rooted core inside of you? Think on the extent of the power found in learning and embracing this information. By doing this, you respect your path and also unleash the energy transforming it. This introspective ability drives us into the depth of our next project, where we will disentangle the processes to use this insight and transform the possibility a physical world offers. When we go back to the depth of Block 3, we focus on the larger link between the many levels of the spiritual truth of its initial letter. Its first letter is microcosm of spiritual potential, rather than just a personal sign. Every stage of this process reflects in the body, mind, and soul into a harmonic symphony of experiences, therefore transforming the layers of the conscious and the unconscious. Consider it as a conductor directing an orchestra in which every musician stands for a component of his life. The instruments start to play in perfect harmony when the information from your letter fits your everyday life. The resonance of the first letter calls itself in its spiritual and earthy identity, just as the building of the cosmos was an act of word, sound, and light. Though the winds keep on blowing in the other direction, it is the lighthouse in the storm, constantly indicating the correct path. This road will pass major introspection on who you become against who you were meant to be. One must be able to recognize repeated events in their conduct and the repeating trends in their life. Sometimes life whispers signals. Other times, it presents lessons that seem like trumpets. Ask yourself, does this bring me closer to my purpose? Is it aligned with the energy I should be emulating? Thus, awareness, because ignoring these signals and this appeal might keep the symphony of your life out of tune, leading to depression and stagnation, like a field never knowing spring. But you not only play your tune, but also become the composer of your own symphony, reverberating throughout the years by embracing the truth of your message with heart and intention. Consider all this, as it is the reflection that opens the road to discernment. Let awareness grow within you and perceive the next hurdle as a chance to totally synchronize your life with this fresh knowledge. Knowing this helps you to build your spiritual roots, therefore nourishing the vivid tree of your life and prepared to provide fruits not only for your soul, but also for those of others around you. To truly experience spiritual development in the heart of a selected one must first untangle the little processes working between the visible and the unseen. These powers, spun in the loom of the cosmos, are both a gift and a duty, as the real magic calls not only knowledge, but also a deliberate and purposeful application. These systems exist inside the evolutionary trip to help us to match our nature with our divine mission, therefore enabling a road of self-discovery and spiritual development. The first phase is first seen as awareness waking up. This process starts with a brief glance, a spark of identification we experience when we discover recurring trends in our life, as if the universe were perfectly changing the gears of our destiny to guide us to the correct path. It is here, initially, that the spirit starts to wonder about the significance of everyday events and gets the need to follow our first letter as a direction. The body may experience worry at this point, but the mind muses on the trip that is ahead. The second step is vibrational alignment, in which the particular energy of the initial letter is harmonic with body and mind. Consider this as a garden where carefully placed seeds approach the surface to sip from light. The selected one is drawn to certain activities and goals because they speak to their inherent truth. Difficulties, such self-sabotage or uncertainty surface, but they are overcome by the emphasis on goal and faith in the spiritual path. At last, we arrived at the conscious manifestation phase. At this point, the chosen one combines their knowledge and translates it into behavior that reflects their actual self, much like the gold glows when cleaned in fire. Though it might appear little to the outer world, this metamorphosis helps one to experience great tranquility and belonging. It is like the figure of the prophet that comes out of great introspection with a clear outlook, discovering a new path and dedication to spiritual principles. But be cautious. Those who chose ignore these systems, stay mired in darkness, bound to a recurring dance of frustration and spiritual stagnation, as well as the king, trapped in the desert sands. Thus, the urgency must shine within. Everyone selected the need to act immediately, as it is essential to break with sterile traditions and take the responsibility of their spiritual progress in hand. Get ready to discover how to utilize this insight to totally change your spiritual journey by opening chances that have been out of your grasp so far and following the road the universe has defined just for you ahead. We now commit ourselves to define the spiritual processes guiding this profound change and provide a clear road so that every selected person may travel with assurance. Every step of this trip is influenced and informed by the great worldwide energy network in which we are all linked. It is also an unseen force. The first step toward the awakening is realizing basic harmony. This is the time the selected one starts to sense the frequency of his letter, resonating with his everyday activities and ideas. These still faint vibrations start to affect their surroundings, like a river that over ages shapes its bed. Wisdom here is to find harmony, instead of battling the current, as when we match our inner song, we attract events and people that improve our own frequency. Advancing, we discover consciousness of energy flows. Every letter has a spectrum of power and a flow that shapes the path of the soul. Consider it how to grasp the wind before changing the boat's candles. Knowing where these chains blow will help you to negotiate with a proper destination. The selected ones deal with the difficulties of negative ideas and self-imposed restrictions at this stage. Here is the spot where holy books remind us of the psalm, stating that God makes the path ready for the straight. The third phase is the way this information is incorporated into a fully expressive state. The spirit wakes fully and converts these within discoveries into focused, physical activities in the outer world. Inspired and uplifting people around you only by honesty, you now shine with a purer and more real light, like the gold that glows after it's purifying. But an alarm is required. Ignoring these systems or obsessing over their use leaves one in illusion and incompleteness, an echo far from the unmet potential. For the split spirit floats aimlessly. The divided home cannot survive. The urgency is obvious. The chosen one must act and replace his candles right now, else he would leave them at the whim of life's fluctuations and inconsistencies. Get ready. In the following section, you will learn how these specific spiritual activities may ground you more securely on this enlightened path, therefore increasing your capacity to replicate and radiate your basic truth to the world. Imagine now, two people picked to follow opposing paths. Knowing his nature, the first accepts the truth concealed in his initial letter of name. Your steps should be those of the wise guy building his home over the solid rock. He looks beyond the surface and lets the first vibration guide his judgments and behavior. Under his focused attention, life unfolds as a rich field where goals are obviously found and connections are reinforced. Radiating light wherever he walks, he achieves an inner tranquility and an unquestionable sense of direction. Conversely, the second selected opposes, disregards the call of nature. Like the person who decides to build his house on the sand, he is deaf to the warnings of the wind that whisper changes. Your emotions are contradictory, and on your path, internal storms abound. Personal connections appear to slip between their fingers, and life's goal is a mystery, covered in uncertainty and frustration. In his denial, he veers off the road lit by the cosmos, therefore sustaining cycles of disappointment and spiritual inertia. Let us remember the tale of the prophet Jonas, who battled cruel storms until he at last embraced his fate when he strayed from his duty. This story shows not just resistance and its results, but also the peace and atonement attained when the actual calling is accepted. Each selected one should so ask, which of these ways I find myself today, in sight of the spiritual crossroads, while evading the repercussions of this. Fact is not an option. Acceptance of it is a personal decision. The present moment is the divine gift to reconsider your path and determine if you are ready to welcome the totality of your spiritual ability. Recall, essentially only recognized, cannot be domesticated. Choosing to embrace or reject this reality will determine the melody your life will come across on the vibrational world. This is the degree of the decision you have to make before. When we cross the threshold of the following chapter, we will enter the particular techniques that may calm and widen your real spiritual path. Therefore, your heart will vibrate with knowledge. Imagine for a time two rather different pathways, each taken by a selected one. One of them, who greeted the holy spark on his first letter of name, is like a tree rising strong and full beneath the sunshine. This deliberate decision is like a calm river, harmonizing with the surrounding land. Your emotions are like calm waters, a balance between want and satisfaction that pervades their connections, links created by the awareness and real embodiment of their mission, when you let your soul shine constantly. The second picked in an 𖣔READ opposition is one that rejects to answer the appeal of its inner resonance. He closes eyes and ears to the sweet whispers of his soul, like a blank desert, never knowing the rain resists. Their veins stream turbulent and restless emotions. Their problems are like mountains, difficult and insurmountable, stopping your progress and distorting your perspective of the horizon. Saul Chus remains divided, empty and imbalanced, just as he was taken from his post because he neglected the divine direction. Let us consider the narrative of Moses, who, at the rightness, could consciously sense the summons and open the Red Sea with a power never seen before. This transformative information is very powerful and pragmatic, as well as theoretical. It becomes a guide in expressing these important decisions, not only to reach their own aims, but also to lead a life of significance and help their surrounds. Considering this, ask yourself, which of these routes do I find myself on right now? Let a fresh and sharp awareness emerge within you to lead you in the words, deeds, and decisions you will take going forward. Though it is a sovereign choice, acceptance affects every aspect of life. When you stop this reflection, be conscious of action. Your part in moving forward on this heavenly road may not only improve it, but also reflect the effect all around your own planet. Remember, therefore, every decision is a stone tossed into still waters, creating waves whose length beyond what your sight can detect. As we progress to know how to use this learning sensibly in your everyday life, be ready to confirm this knowledge into reality. You have therefore so far acquired information that really speaks to the core of your existence. Still, this information stays dormant unless it is used. Recall that the actual change comes from the practical application of these concepts into your daily life, not merely from the intellectual knowledge. While others who hesitate stay caught in never-ending loops of repetition, only the moving selected ones experience the actual transformation in their life. These three spiritual techniques, Porto Seguro, help you to synchronize your energy and deepen your relationship with the divine. Now start this road of change. First practice is a first-letter meditation. Create a calm area, clear disruptions, and, if at all feasible, light a candle. Feel comfortable and pay close attention to your initial letter of name. See it in your head, brilliant as a dazzling emblem. Spend at least 15 minutes repeating a strong purpose like, I am open to receiving the clarity and wisdom contained in the essence of my name. This will provide balance, clarity, and a closer knowledge of your purpose. Second practice, Omens Journal. At night, jot down a daily event when you came to see the impact of your first energy. Think about how this frequency directed your activities or ideas. This practice helps you to become more conscious of synchronics and patterns, thereby enabling you to clearly see the road ahead. Third practice, Alignment Acts. Every day, do a little action that captures the force of your first letter. If your letter shows imagination, set aside some time for creative pursuits. If it suggests leadership, make a choice calling for control. Such activities are like tuning instruments, ensuring harmony between their essence and their behavior. I suggest a magical challenge now. Practice spiritual quiet throughout the following 24 hours. Aware of your inner, Decide which moment of the day you should be totally silent. Let this self-examination expose maybe missed facts. List your discoveries and let you lead your next spiritual choices. When attempting to apply these changes, one should expect internal opposition, as the mind usually sticks to what is familiar and safe. See this challenge as evidence that you are developing on your spiritual road, not as a failure. Maintaining this path is a privilege only for the courageous. With this knowledge, your path from now on will be defined. Put your selected stance and break through the past. The call went through. Are you going to respond? We are at the crossroads where knowledge finds the action nowadays. Having acquired these spiritual principles is simply the beginning. Real strength is in how you use them in your everyday life. Consistent practices lead to authentic change. Every action reinforces the path to a life in line with its greatest purpose. Let's investigate 3 spiritual techniques you may start right now to match your own energy with the heavenly nature of your initial letter. First practice: viewing immersion. Set aside a daily period for a calm viewing first. Get to a quiet place and feel at ease. Close your eyes to see the initial letter of your name as a strong light source radiating through and around you. Bring this light within your being with every inspiration. Feel how it cleanses your cells, opening room for fresh starts by clearing obstacles. Completing this practice with a defined goal can help one achieve amazing inner balance and mental clarity. Second practice: notes in intuitive diary. You will now aim to keep a personal notebook devoted to self-exploitation. At night, record the day happenings and connect them to the vitality of the first letter. Write freely about how your choices and interactions matched or opposed their inherent nature. This exercise provides great insights and might help you focus your energies and goals the next day. Third practice: morning alignment ritual. Get in a quick alignment routine upon awakening. Put your hand over your heart and say something that speaks to the force of your message. Something like, "Today, I incorporate leadership, creativity, etc. that resides in me." This first action sets a strong and focused tone for the remainder of the day. Now, I give you an instant challenge. Find an opportunity to practice Thanksgiving meditation for the next 24 hours. Emphasize 3 areas of your life where your new perspective is helping you to show real thanks for each of them. This helps it to establish a closer relationship with the divine and promotes an ongoing stream of benefits. Real change causes opposition, hence understand this. Your mind might falter, doubting or deferring these ideas in search of solace from what is known. If and when this occurs, realize that this is the required step on the road, separating the surface from the depth. The secret is persistence. The ones who really profit from complete waking are the ones that pass this boundary. Your trip from now on will be defined by what you do with this knowledge. The guidelines were provided upon the call. Ready to respond and act? The setting is yours. The decision is yours. The unavoidable alteration is yours. This is the moment to get up and let your light shine brighter than it has ever done. Remember that what you found today about the first letter of your name is more than just a curiosity. It's a roadmap leading you across the secrets of the cosmos as we start this final look on our trek together. This insight is a doorway that leads you more into your calling. However, realize that awakening is not a one-time occurrence. Rather, it is an ongoing stream of revelations and renewals. Now, the most crucial issue of your life is, after this heavenly truth has been shown to you, how will you treat her? The decision is yours. Nevertheless, like the seed in the tail that finds excellent soil, this one may blossom and entirely change its course, highlighting every action that chooses to be followed. I ask you to commit if this message speaks to your soul and seems ready to welcome your call. Leave in the comments, "I accept my call." This is a validation of its root before the cosmos, an echo of its spiritual voice resonating to the sky, not just a virtual gesture. May God enlighten your steps, strengthen your soul, and open your eyes to the truths that were hidden. May you find clarity, strength, and purpose to follow the path you were destined for you, says everyone in a quick prayer. Remember that this audio marks a turning point in a huge field of fresh discoveries rather than the finish. Prepare. More about your latent power and how to direct it to transform your world is still to be discovered. Designed for individuals who are ready to further their spiritual development, the following film will go even farther and more transforming truth. Remember that you are never alone, and be inspired in our goodbye. Though there are many obstacles on the spiritual road, every person who observes and shares this purpose is joining a strong force, a community of selected light and divine desire. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell to guarantee that this river of knowledge and encouragement keeps feeding itself. Follow in peace and with the awareness of your actual goal. Till next time.